Well, it's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, and welcome to this very, very special masterclass we're doing, which is called Neuro-Linguistic Sales, the Unfair Advantage. And I want you to think for a moment, just in your business, if you had to look at all of your skills, if you had to look at all of your business processes, if you had to step back and look at all of your marketing and look at all your branding and look at all of your automation tools that you have in place, and I was to ask that one question, what's the one place that you can have an unfair advantage? What would you say? Like, what would be top of mind to you? I asked this question recently on a webinar, and I asked that question I'm asking you right now. What would be your unfair advantage? Neuro-Linguistic Sales. Typically, I get answers like, I don't know. I get answers like, well, what I do is everyone else does the same thing as well. And you know what? That is not the case. That is not true. There is an unfair advantage. And it's my belief that Neuro-Linguistic Sales is the unfair advantage. And on this particular masterclass, I'm gonna focus on answering the one question that's got to be the most common denominator question that's asked all of the time. You say, Shay, what is that one question? What's the one question that's asked all the time? The one question that's asked all the time is, Shay, why don't people buy from me? Like, seriously, when you step back, what's the reason why people just don't buy from me? And you know, there's a lot of reasons why, but here's what I know that you can have an unfair advantage. And when you get better at what you say, you get better at how you say it, and you get better at when you say it, then that's going to give you the unfair advantage. And today, I'm going to pull back the big black curtain this morning, this evening, this afternoon, whatever time it is for you, wherever you are in the world, and you're watching this or you're listening to the sound of my voice. I'm going to pull back and I'm going to unveil first what is Neuro-Linguistic Sales. And then secondly, I'm going to reveal what are some techniques that you can use for good and not for evil. And I want you to think about it just based on what you know right now. When you hear the word Neuro-Linguistic Sales, what's top of mind to you? Like, what's the first thing that you think of? What pops out right now? And for some folks, they're like, well, Shay, I don't know. For other folks, they're like, you know what, Shay? This makes all of the sense and all of the difference in the world. So for those folks like Ty Miles, who is out there watching, and Lene Smith, who's out there watching, and Karen, and so many of you other joining, you're at the right place at the right time. And I want you to know this, and I want you to hear this from the bottom of my heart. When I talk about the unfair advantage, Crystal, the number one cause of business failure is low sales. Now, there's a lot going on in the world right now. We're in uncertain times. These are uncharted waters that we're in right now. And for some, this is going to be a truly devastating. It's going to be a setback. There's no question about that. But you know what the number one cause of business failure is across the board? It's really low sales. And we're going to fix that problem today. We're going to fix anyone that has a challenge with low sales. The number one reason for business success is high sales. So it's my belief, even during these times, your sales process, your selling skills, your sales force will determine the health of your business. And this right here, this conversation, this is a money conversation. This conversation will be a good use of your time, because I'm going to walk you through step by step to make sure it's you. And I was talking to someone the other day, and I asked the question, you talk about Neuro-Linguistic Sales. I asked the question, I said, you know what? You're probably the best salesperson in your business, aren't you? And you know what they said? Absolutely. I'm the only salesperson in my business. And I said, well, if you were the only salesperson in the business, France, and I had to do all the selling myself, then I'd want to improve my selling skills. And the one way to do that is to get the unfair advantage and really focus on Neuro-Linguistic Sales. Now, for those folks that are tuning in for the very first time, I always like to start off and say, it's a great day. Because anytime that we get a chance to wake up and anytime we get a chance to make a difference in the world, it's a great day, not only for us, but for everyone else as well. Now, for those folks that are tuning in and meet me for the very, very first time, my name, by the way, is Shay Brown, known as the Happy Entrepreneur. But one of the things you might not know about me is I'm a master practitioner in the area of neuro-linguistic sales. And for some of you, neuro-linguistic sales is new. And some of you don't even know what neuro-linguistic sales is. So let me slow down and then I will speed up. And then we're going to get into specifically step by step how to build your business. Neuro-linguistic sales, if you want to know what is neuro-linguistic sales, neuro-linguistic sales is really the study of language patterns and how it impacts the sales process. So go ahead and jot this down in your notes. If you're out there wondering and saying, Shay, what is neuro-linguistic sales? And I'm learning that term for the very, very first time. I'm glad you're part of this masterclass. So neuro-linguistic sales is the study of linguistic patterns. It's the words that you're using in your sales process. Now, I want you to listen very, very carefully because what you say, when you say it, and how you say it makes the total difference for you or for anyone that's listening to what you're doing right now. So now that you have this one distinction, you know what neuro-linguistic sales is. It's a teaching moment. You know that it's the study of linguistic patterns. It's the words that you're using right now in the sales process. And I want you to know that your words have a frequency. Your words have a frequency. So when you're saying something, imagine you're saying something, you're talking right now. When you're saying something, there's a frequency that's being transmitted between me, you, your subconscious mind, your ears right now. And for some of you who are even watching right now, there's this transformation that's taking on right now. And so as those folks are tuning in right now, and you're like, okay, Shay, I got it. Words have a frequency. And if I get better at what I say, when I say it, and how I say it, I will make more sales and I will improve my selling skills and my sales process. That's right. Because I started off by saying the number one cause of business failure is low sales. And it's either your selling skills or your sales process. We're going to talk about both of those right now and how neuro-linguistic sales can help in both of those trends. And that's so important. Now, how do I know that? Because for those folks that don't know me, I focus 100% on sales training. And one of the things that I say, and I like to answer this question up front if I can, and address this elephant here, the sales superstars aren't born. I believe they're made. And I have an opportunity to work with folks just like you. And whether you do the selling or I work with your team, sales superstars are made. Jot this down in your notes. This might be the first note that we have for today. And I want you to have this because this will help you as we go through this whole conversation around neuro-linguistic sales and the unfair advantage, because this is the one unfair advantage. But put this down in your notes. Selling is a learned skill. Put that in your notes right now. Selling is a learned skill. Put that in your notes. Selling is a learned skill. You can learn to sell. Just like you learn how to ride a bicycle. Just like many of you learn how to tie your shoe. Many of you learn how to drive a stick shift or drive an automatic in the car. And it was a learned skill. Now, if you are the best salesperson in your team, then I want you to improve your selling skills. If you have a team, then I want you to have something that you can teach your folks that are on your team right now. Because selling will solve any business problem. And this is so true as we go through it right now. So let me ask a question. What is your favorite radio station? Pay attention now. Don't miss this. This is very, very important. What is your favorite radio station? And for me, it was 96.3. And then when I was younger, 93.9 FM. Used to be a guy by the name of Donnie Simpson. And Donnie Simpson's back, by the way. But when I was growing up, we loved listening to Donnie Simpson, right? And we would tune in to Donnie Simpson. So you think about your favorite radio station, Helen. You think about your favorite radio station, Monty. Think about your favorite radio station. What's up, Shelly? And what that favorite radio station was. Now, back in the day, my sons don't know nothing about this, by the way. Maybe you know about this. What happens when you used to use your radio and you would try to dial in to the conversation? What would happen? Well, there are a couple things that would take place, right? You would try to dial in, and if you didn't get the frequency right, someone talk to me. If you didn't get the frequency right, what would happen? What would happen if you didn't get the frequency right? Yeah, right. Correct. If you didn't get the frequency right, there would be a noise, right? And you would try to get the frequency just right. You would go to 93.8 7, 93.7. What was your favorite radio station? Put right below the video what your favorite radio station was. Put that right below the video right now. What was your favorite radio station? And then here's what would happen. They couldn't hear you. And if they couldn't hear you clearly, there was a problem, right? They couldn't hear you clearly. There was sure enough going to be a problem. Well, here's what happens when you're talking to your clients. You're talking to your clients and you're using words, and words have a frequency. As we talked about earlier, words have a frequency. And when you're trying to talk to them, they're not hearing you the way you want them to hear you. And so they're not on the same frequency that you're on as well in that given moment. So what I want you to do as you're looking right now, I want you to write this down in your notes. Put this in your notes. And this is the number one reason why a number of folks just don't buy and they don't get the sale. And this one idea right here is going to help you right now in this present moment. And here it is. Jot this down in your notes. This is so important. I don't want you to miss this. This one idea will make a difference for you. And this is going to create the greatest breakthrough I believe that you can have in your business right now. And here it is. This is so important. Here it is right now. People buy clarity. Jot that down in your notes right now. People buy clarity. Put down your notes. Don't miss that. People buy clarity. And it's been often said in sales trainings that people buy you. And I don't think that's the case anymore. I think they got to like you. They got to trust you. You got to have a pleasing personality. But at the end of the day, they buy the benefits you say you're going to deliver. So when you're talking to folks and they're struggling with you and they're trying to work with you and they're trying to understand where you're coming from, one of the biggest challenges they have is that you're not providing clarity. And if there's not clarity there, then they are not going to buy. So we're going to talk about how you can have clarity. We can talk about how you can make that a reality. We're going to talk about how you can make that happen. So here's the question that I pose to you. What frequency is your prospect on? How do they best communicate? When you're on the phone call just yesterday, when you're on a webinar just the other day, what was the best way for them to be able to communicate with you? And so when you're talking right now, we've got to tune in. We've got to get laser focused. We got to be right there with the prospect when they're going. We got to tune into their frequency. We got to dial into exactly how they actually learn from us. Now, I'm going to talk about how we can do that. I'm going to talk about different skills. I'm going to talk about different techniques. But in this moment, in this conversation, I want you to listen like you've never listened before, because this right here will create a breakthrough as you and I are having this conversation right now. What frequency are they in? Now, this is not going to get into signature selling style. We're not getting into buyer's profile. We're going to get into right now the words that you're using when you're having a conversation. And I'm going to teach you how to speak directly to the prospect's subconscious mind. How do you do that? How do you speak directly to their subconscious mind? What words do you use? What words do you say that makes a difference? And I want you to think as you're listening right now. And I was to ask the question, I think I got to get this here. I was to ask the question, how do you speak to a person's subconscious mind? What would you say? Like what technique would you use? What words would you use? Now, we're going to use these words for good. We're not going to use these words for evil. We're going to use these words for good. So my question was, how do you talk directly to the client's subconscious mind? Where's this thing go? Okay. I thought I lost you guys for a second. Let me just make sure. Mic check, mic check. If you can hear me, just look right below. I thought I got a signal saying we lost the internet, but I think I'm still live. Let me see. I think I'm still live. If you can hear me, just look right below the video and write, Shay, we hear you. Just look right below the video. Do me a favor and just write, Shay, we hear you. Just put Shay, we hear you. Just look right below the video and just put Shay, we hear you. Just so I can be clear that you hear me right now, even as I'm speaking, just to make sure. Okay. All right, good. I think I'm getting a signal that you can hear me. All right. So now you're speaking to them on a subconscious level. You're speaking to them on a subconscious level. So here's what I want you to know. You say what you want them to think. Now, this is going to get a little technical. For some of you, this is going to be a little advanced, but you can handle this. We're going to focus on teaching you how to speak directly to their subconscious mind. And then we want you to say what you want them to actually what? Think. Now, this is advanced. This is advanced. Thanks for telling me you can hear me. Thanks for telling me you can hear me. Thank you so much. And so here's what I want you to know. Jot this down in your notes. We're going to turn your words into wealth. Put that down in your notes. Turn your words into wealth. Put that down in your notes. Turn your words. This is what you say. This is nothing any fancy. But yeah, Shay, when I use Neuro-Linguistic Sales, the study of language patterns and how it impacts the sales process, I'm going to say what I want them to think. You're going to teach me those techniques in a minute. Yes, I am. And then I'm going to turn my words into wealth. Here's something my mentor told me. And this right here can help many of you. It's only 6 words. But these 6 words will make the biggest difference for you in your business right now. And I want every single one of you to write this down. And some of you who are watching live right now, and maybe you're on Facebook or maybe you're on the podcast or in one of the groups, do me a favor, hit the share button, hit the watch party button. And when you do that, we're going to bless someone right now that's going through whatever they're going through, what's happening in the world right now. This message for someone that has to write emails now, for someone that has to write copy for their sales page right now, for someone that has to do a video right now, for someone that has to do phone calls right now, for someone right now, in order to communicate in their business, they've got to do conference calls or Zoom meetings or webinars. This is going to help them. Just these 6 words. So hit the share button, then hit the watch party button, and then let me go and give you these 6 words. What's up, Nicole? What's going on, Judy? Hey, Gina Brown. Here they are. Jot these 6 words down in your notes. My mentor taught me this, and this has made the biggest difference for me. He said, Shay, the unfair advantage is this. Your words can make you rich. Go ahead and jot that down in your notes right now. Your words can make you rich. Go ahead. Like seriously, if there's one principle, if there was one manifesto, if there was one mantra you could have right now, the mantra I want you to have is that your words can make you rich. You get better at what you say. You get better at when you say it. You get better at how you say it. You will be more powerful. You will be more persuasive. You will go after larger accounts. You will attract more folks. You will speak to your target audience, and you will make more sales with less effort. I said the number one cause for business failure is low sales. And inside those low sales is really the ability to be able to effectively communicate, not market, but communicate the words that they want to use to speak to the person's subconscious mind. So you, as you're watching right now, do me a favor. I'm going to break this thing down. I'm going to unpack it. Look right below the video. What's up, Kevin? Look right below the video and write these words. Your words can make you rich. Now, Shay, if my words can make me rich and you're going to teach me what to say, and I am the best salesperson in my company right now, so I've got to build my selling skills, or I'm training my sales team, they got to improve their words. Then if their words can make them rich, what's the opposite of the words can make them rich? What's the opposite of that? Well, the opposite of that, unfortunately, and it's the number one cause of business failure in the world, is low sales. And many times your words can make you poor as well. I'm having a conversation with someone, I'm chatting to them, and they tell me that referrals is the number one way that they generate business. And referrals might be the number one way you generate business as well. So I'm having this conversation with them, and I'm like, okay, Shay, I'm not getting referrals right now. And they tell me exactly what they're saying in order to get referrals. They tell me exactly what they're saying. And I'm thinking to myself, we'll come back to that in a minute. Give me a second. Let me just tell this story. I'm thinking to myself, you have found words that you're using that absolutely does not get you a referral. Or you found words that you're using that absolutely unequivocally does not put you in front of your target market. So let's get better at what we say, when we say it, and how we say it. See, Neuro-Linguistic Sales is the unfair advantage. NLS, the unfair advantage. Now, I'm going to talk about how you can use words to trigger mental responses. That's coming up in just a second. But first, as you're out there watching right now, as you're tuned in right now, do me a favor. Look right below the video. And write these words. This is so important. Just put down NLS. The unfair advantage. Or you can put the unfair advantage and then put hashtag NLS, the unfair advantage, NLS. Now, some folks won't know what NLS stands for, but you know that that's Neuro-Linguistic Sales. So let's get into words that trigger mental responses, because I talked about it a minute ago. I said we got to speak to their subconscious mind. We got to speak directly to who they are and what they're up to these days, right? So here's what I want you to know. Jot this in your notes. Words in sequence have meaning. So I'm going to go over a couple principles. Principle number 1 is to use words that trigger mental responses. I'm going to teach you that. Now, if this is new to you, write this down. I'm going to go through the principles, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to break this thing down. So we're going to use words that speak to their subconscious mind. Understand that some folks are auditory learners and hearers. That means they hear with their ears. Some folks are visual. I get that. So it takes mental triggers for their visualization. And some folks have to feel you. There's an emotion that goes involved. So we're going to use words that trigger mental responses. I'm going to share those words with you. And some of you will be able to use those words in your emails. Some of you will be able to use those words in your social media posts. Some of you will be able to use these words in your webinars, in your conference calls. Some of you speak on stages. We'll talk about that. Principle number 2 is words in sequence have meaning. So you're either using a script or you're winging it. Let me say that again. You're either using a script or you're winging it. Some people say, Shay, I don't use a script. Okay, well, if you don't use a script, you shoot from the hip, you shoot from the lip, you try to be continuously, spontaneously brilliant, which is fine. But here's what I know. If I followed you around and listened to you on your phone calls or on your webinars or when you're writing your posts, you say the same things about the same way every single time. So after you've done that for a while and you tell the same jokes, you tell the same stories, you drift into a script. So you drift into words in sequence that have meaning. And so when you're listening on this particular call, I want you to think, okay, Shay, it's time for me to really improve right now, Shay, improve the words that I'm using, because your words have sequence. And the key, this is principle number 3, is to establish mental value. Now, I talked about it a minute ago. I said we're going to speak directly to their subconscious mind. We're going to speak directly to who they are. We're going to understand their problem. We're going to share how we solve their problem, and we're going to use words in order to do that. And this is going to be very important. This will create a breakthrough for a number of you that are out there. So you might be wondering, Shay, am I at the right place at the right time? Is this something that I can even benefit from? And I understand that, and that makes a lot of sense, especially if you're hearing it for the very first time. So who can benefit from Neuro-Linguistic Sales? Who should pay attention? Who is this conversation for? Well, this conversation is for you right now if you have a fear of sales. And you're like, Shay, I really don't want to sell. Like, I'm tired of selling, Shay. You don't get it, man. This is not for me. I do it because I have to. If I don't do it, then I don't stay in business. Understand, this conversation is for you. This conversation for you is if you hate being sold to. And so when you're on the other side, you don't want to come across as sleazy or arm twisting or manipulative. And so if you hate being sold to, but you want to sell, and you're like, Shay, I serve first and then I sell, which is what I teach. Serve first and then I sell. Then this conversation is for you. Or maybe you're listening right now and you're like, Shay, for where we are in the economy, for what's going on in the world right now, for the challenges that we're having right now more than ever, I need the resources necessary to execute the vision that I have for the people I'm called to serve. So this conversation is for you. If you're just listening and say, I just need to increase my sales. Like, I know the number one reason for business success is really sales. And so if I can increase my sales, I can stay in business. If I can increase my sales, I can purchase all the resources that I need in order to go to another level. Or maybe you're a person that's just better at selling your own products. And so you want to get better at being the number one salesperson in your company. Like, you're number one. Even if you're the only one, you're still number one right now. And so you got to build your skills in order to build your business. And I get that. I understand that. I've been where you are. I get that so much. So right now, the conversation we're going to be about to have is for you. Or maybe you're like one of my clients, and her name is Carissa, and Carissa is developing a sales team. And she's taking it from her doing all the sales to really trying to develop other people who will do sales for her. But she wants to be able to teach them exactly what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. So this conversation around Neuro-Linguistic Sales, this is for you, for my speakers, my authors, my trainers, my coaches, my influencers, my network marketers, some of you who have brick and mortar businesses. This conversation you can benefit from 100%. So words trigger mental responses. This is one of the core principles, number one. Let me go ahead and share that. Let me go ahead and break that down for you. Let me go ahead and teach that to you in this moment that we're in right now. So the first thing I want to teach you is using the word cost versus investment. Cost versus investment. Whenever you can, stay away from ever using the word cost. I want you to focus on the word investment. So when someone says, how much does it cost? I want you to say, well, let me share with you, there is an investment, because when you make an investment, you're looking for a return on the investment. Now, the return could be more sales. The return could be that you're feeling better. The return could be that someone else can handle the labor. The return could be that you look better, your website is cleaner, but never use the word cost. Always use the word investment. Investment speaks that, yes, you've got to have some skin in the game. And if you have a problem, which you're only speaking to them if they have a problem, your company only exists to solve a problem, then I want you to always mention that if you have this problem, this is just one of the mental trigger words we're going to get into in just a second, then I want you to eliminate cost from your vocabulary all the way around. And I was talking to someone recently, and they were sharing with me how in their presentation, they had learned from me how to focus on mental words. And the next one that I'm sharing with you was very important. It was removing the word but and using the word and. Removing the word but and then using the word and. So in her presentation, when she was talking to him, she would say, you can have all this, but you must sign a contract. You can have all of this if we meet, but you must make certain requirements. You must spend a certain amount, and if you don't, there's a penalty. And she wasn't doing anything bad. It wasn't like negative. It wasn't like she was really doing it. She didn't know what she didn't know. She had never been in a conversation with a master practitioner like myself around Neuro-Linguistic Sales. So I opened up the conversation to her, and I said, I want you to be aware and start documenting when you use the word but. Because most folks, when they hear the word but, they think stop. They think there's something there that's holding them. But if you use the word and, so we can solve your problem, you can be on the sales team, and you can have an agreement in place that protects you in case you feel something didn't go the way you wanted to. You can get a better discount, and you put a little more money up front, but you enjoy all the benefits you want on the back end. What I'm sharing with you when you're writing your copy, what I'm sharing with you when you're putting together your sales page, what I'm sharing with you when you're speaking, remove the word what, but, and say and. So I believe that you can learn neuro-linguistic sales and have an unfair advantage and serve more people and be a servant leader and get paid. So you're always adding the and, because the and adds extra value to the conversation. Now we're talking about words that trigger mental responses, words that make folks think. Now, so you write down in your notes right now, and you make a commitment that you're going to remove the word and the word, remove the word but. Now I'm gonna get into some good stuff in a moment, but I want to share one more with you, because for some of you, this is what you've been looking for. Kind of like, what am I doing? What am I saying? What am I writing? How can I have the unfair advantage, which is neuro-linguistic sales? Remove the word can't versus yet. So, a person says, well, I can't do it. No. It's just a matter of when. It's not possible yet. But if we can put these processes in place, if we can implement this system, if I can structure a deal that works for you, then you can do this and the time will be right. So instead of saying can't, you say yet. And you're always putting yet. We haven't got to the end yet. You haven't worked with us yet. You haven't taken a step to have a meeting yet. I was working with a financial planner, and they get together with folks, and they're always trying to get them to meet so they can bring all of their financial documents. That's what they believe. If they get the financial documents in front of them, they'll get the deal. And as I was talking to him, I noticed that he kept saying, well, they say they can't do it. They can't get their wife together. I said, no, your wife is not available yet. Let's look at when she will be available. No, you're saying you can't pull everything together Monday, yet if we give you until Friday, that gives you enough time. Am I hearing you correctly? If we can fix it and make it work for your schedule. My point is, remove the word can't and replace it with yet. These are mental triggers. One of my favorite, this is my favorite, or it wouldn't be up here, right? It really silly wouldn't be here, is I love the because frame. The because frame. Now, I'm having a conversation and I'm working with a client who wants to have speaking opportunities. And some of you out there, you're speakers, you're authors, you're trainers, you're coaches, and you speak for a living. You speak on stages, you speak on webinars, you speak on podcasts. It's what you do. And this person was the same way. And they were sharing with me what her assistant, not even a salesperson, her assistant was doing to look for opportunities. And she was talking about an event that she was having. So some of you have an event and you want to invite people to it. So I said, why don't we institute the because frame? Of course, she said, Shay, what is the because frame? I said, when we make the phone calls, and this is the person who's in Atlanta. The person has a PhD, okay? The person is she's probably listening right now. The person is a therapist, a psychologist, and she works and helps people improve their relationships. And we were calling 197 universities to identify decision makers and opportunities for her. And she was doing an event to help people in relationships. So when I called, I said, look, what's missing from this is the because frame. It took me less than 5 minutes. And that's because of my skill set as a master practitioner in Neuro-Linguistic Sales. I said, when you call, you say the reason for the call today is we are doing a live masterclass called How to Help Students Develop Relationships When They're Away from Home. And because of that reason, you saw the and phrase. Some of you were here. Some of you remember way back here, I talked about and, not but. Some of you remember that. I said, and because of that reason, I'm reaching out to universities right in Pittsburgh and asking for an opportunity to come speak to your students about how to handle relationships when they're away from home. Now, that isn't the reason why we were able to identify 40, check this out, 40 decision makers. That's a big number. For some of you, if you had 40 decision makers you could work with for the whole year, you'd be happy. Forget the whole month. But because of this reason, here's what I would like to do. That was the because frame. Everyone jot this down in your notes. Less is more. Put down your notes. Less is more. Put down your notes. Less is more. Jot that down right now. Jot that down right now. Use simple words to increase influence. Now we're getting into the psychology of it here right now. We're talking about Neuro-Linguistic Sales, which is the study of language patterns that impact the sales process. And we talked about your words can make you rich and how to get better at what you say, when you say it, and how you say it. But the key to it all is use simple words to really increase influence. And I'm only talking about number one, like we haven't even really got fired up yet. We're still in the early phases because for some of you, I had to unpack this thing just a little bit. So I had to step back before I speed up. And I'm giving you some examples in just a moment. And I'm giving you words that trigger mental responses. And for some of you, this is the breakthrough. For some of you, this is where the unfair advantage takes place. The number one cause of business failure is low sales. And if you're the number one salesperson in your company right now, then you're either going to build your selling skills so you can increase your business growth, or you're going to improve your sales process. Because I believe that systems beat goals every single time. And we help you with both of those sides, but in this conversation, just like a skill building type of thing right here. And some of you, you're going to share it with your team. So let's talk about some examples when I say, oh, you can use words. An example would be, it seems inexpensive, right? Now, when someone says it seems inexpensive. It allows you to use very simple words to actually communicate a message, because it seems, implies, it infers, and it does a mental trigger. I like it seems, by the way, for them to have a mental, remember we talked about earlier, there's 3 ways people learn. Some people learn through auditory, some people learn through visualization, and some people learn through connecting with you emotionally, right? So it's the eyes, the ears, or the emotions. We call them the 3 E's. And when it seems, it triggers a mental picture in their mind. And there's something they're trying to compare it to. I was talking to someone that offers a program that's $6,997. And it's like no program I've seen before. And so the challenge they had wasn't about the money. It was about establishing the value. And I said, let's add this one phrase that it seems expensive. But it seems expensive compared to what? And so there has to be a comparison, because some things you're selling, people can't compare it. If I have a bottle of water, I can compare this to another bottle of water. But if you're offering consulting, or you're offering services, or you're offering a solution, sometimes there's nothing really to compare it to. But there's another way it's going to help many of you, because I want to talk about principle number 2. We talked about principle number 1. Principle number 2 is words in sequence have meaning. Words in sequence that have meaning. So we're going to talk about embedded commands. Now, for some of you, you're wondering, Shay, what in the LL Cool J is an embedded command? And I'm going to talk about why you need embedded commands right now. And embedded commands, when you put something on their mind right now. We talked about speaking earlier. I said this whole premise is you're talking to their subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is always listening. It's always there. Even when they close their ears, there's something going on inside their brain. It never shuts off. It's even on while you're sleeping. So it makes sense that we've got to talk to us. So what are some things we can do? And I said, I'm going to teach you some techniques. So now I'm going to teach you something about embedded commands and why they are important. Number 1, embedded commands reduce internal resistance. This is the resistance that they have inside them that we didn't even know was there. I call it the invisible objections, right? And they create something inside them based on their experience, based on their expertise, based on working with other folks. And so we need to reduce the internal resistance of what we can't see. But the reason I also like embedded commands is that it persuades on both a conscious and an unconscious level. Now, a conscious level is what you are aware of. So you may be aware right now that this is not a good time to go out to the store or be in a crowd of folks. But then there's an unconscious level that's trying to protect you, that says, you know what, this right here could do me great harm for me and my family. So there's a conscious level, and then there's an unconscious level, depending on where you are right now. But also embedded commands help to speed up the decision-making process. So some of you need to get folks moving, by the way. You got to get them going. And for others of you, it motivates the prospect to take action. So it really reinforces sense of urgency benefits. Sense of urgency benefits is, why now? Why do it now? Why not just hold off till tomorrow, till next week? And so we've got to talk to them on that particular level. So if you're taking notes and you're out there right now and you're there and you're tuning in, go ahead right now. And I want you to pay close attention, because we're going to talk about great embedded commands. And embedded commands are commands that you can use during your conversation. So I like the just command, by the way. I like the just command. I like a lot of them, but one of them I like is the just command. And the just command says, it is the best product to buy. It is the best buy. It is the best buy. It is the best. Or buy this product. Or you will benefit from it greatly from it now. So the just command is where you're sharing one-line sentences or 2 or 3 phrases that says, this is it. It's the best on the market right now. You're going to benefit once you have your podcast up. You're going to benefit for the rest of your life. Your clients are greatly going to appreciate you for sharing your broadcast and sharing your message. See, you're putting that command onto their subconscious mind, even as you speak to them right now. Or I like the embedded command. The embedded command, these are commands where they're taking action. The embedded command says, when you, This is 2 words. When you, now some of you have heard me use this, right? You've used me say this before. When you make a note right below, when you hit the share button, when you take action and text in, when you're going to feel immediate difference. You're going to feel a difference. So let me break it down and kind of share this with you. When you helps you really deliver the embedded command. So when you, that helps you buy this product, that's the just embedded command. So when you, it helps you deliver the embedded command. So think of it as the adjective for a number of folks that are out there. Now I know for some of you, this right here is a little bit advanced, and some of you have a copywriting team that does this, and some of you have sales writers that do this, and so you don't even get involved in that. Some of you do this naturally, but others of you really want to learn this. You're like, I just want to know what it is. I want to know that it exists because Shay, I didn't know what I didn't know, which is why we're having this masterclass right now. This masterclass is designed to get right to the heart of it and to teach you exactly what you need, because I know when you institute this, it's going to help you. And so when you take action on one idea, and how many ideas do you need to change your life? 1. When you take action on one idea, there's a lifetime benefit. You will have that idea for the rest of your life. Now, I gotta give you a little advanced. Because when you do the when you've got to use their name right away. And some people don't mention the prospect's name enough in their conversation. Even when they're writing an email, like when you're writing an email, you should mention the person's name at least 2 times in the email. Sometimes 3 times, depending on the length of the email. But you at least want to have that little script in there that mentions their name, because nobody likes anything better than their name. So we're going to add the person's name for greater power. Okay, Shay, can you bring it all together? Sure. When you, Brother Bedford, use our service, you will find that our sales team will make sales for you, and that we are the sales team you've been looking for. When you, Karen, use our virtual sales team, you will find that it frees you up to do other things in your business other than focus on making a phone call, setting an appointment, trying to see if they qualify, tracking them down, entering all the stuff into a database. When you improve your selling skills through our training programs, you will find that you make more sales with less effort. Your team elevates the sales. The number one cause of business failure is lack of sales. But also the number one cause of business success is more sales. So it's high sales, actually. And so there's oxymoron that goes on there. But let me try to unpackage this a little bit differently, because this isn't one of those things where you're going to jump up and down and feel warm and fuzzy and say, this is great, Shay. But it will help you if you'll let me. The word you and the prospect's name are the most influential words you can use in selling. When you. So go ahead and jot this down in your notes. Take a picture of this right now. And I want you to ask yourself, when you're in your conversation, how often are you using the prospect's name? Can I go a little advanced for a moment? Can I give you the 3 embedded commands consistent of the 3 main parts that we just talked about? Can I share that with you so I can create this breakthrough, so I can give you the unfair advantage? This is Neuro-Linguistic Sales. We're talking about the study of language patterns and how it impacts the sales process. We're talking about your words can make you rich. We're talking about getting better at what you say, when you say it, and how you say it, so you can improve your own processes. Here's what I like to do. If you're out there listening right now and say, Shay, this is a lot. This is a lot. I just want to get it for myself. Like, yeah, I want to get the 3 embedded commands, but I need to customize it just for me. This is what I'm going to do. No cost to you. It's my gift to you. For every single one of you out there that's watching right now, that's listening, I'm going to help you. I'm not going to leave you there right now. I'm going to help you right now, because I know that you're a servant leader. I know you're ready for a breakthrough, and I know that this is your time. So here's what I'm going to do. Text the word servant leader, like right now. I just want you to text the word servant leader, like right now. Like text the word servant leader to 202-270-1662. And I'm going to give you the revenue blueprint. This is the words that I'm using. This is the outline. This is the script that you need. And I'm going to schedule a one-on-one revenue momentum session just to hear what you're saying, to understand what you're saying, and then to share one idea that you can use immediately to help you in your business make more sales with less effort. So go ahead right now, text the word servant leader. Open up like right now. So because when you text the word servant leader, you are going to see a breakthrough in your business. That's my promise to you. I can't wait to do the revenue momentum session. I'm going to do it personally. So text the word servant leader right now to 202-270-1662. And all I'm going to ask you, include your first name, include your last name, include your best contact number so we can help you with that. There's no cost. There's no charge. There's no catch. What it is someone on the other side, myself, that has a heart to give and a heart to serve. So go ahead and text the word servant leader to 202-270-1662. Do that now. Include your first name. I'm requiring it so I know who I'm calling. Include your last name. Yes, you'll get the revenue blueprint. You'll get the notes, but more importantly, you're going to have the one-on-one revenue momentum session. And for some of you right now, that's the jump start you need just to get going. And we're not going to leave you there. I'm here to serve. I'm here to help. And for everyone that texts in, I'm looking forward to having that conversation. So let me go ahead and give you the 3 embedded commands. Let me give you the 3 main parts. Go ahead and jot this down in your notes. The first part is the starting phrase. We'll talk about that in a minute. So you're going to start a certain way. So there's the starting phrase. We're talking about, now hear me out. We're talking about the 3 embedded commands that consist of 3 main parts. So we've been talking about neuro-linguistic sales here. So let me slow down. There's the starting phrase. We're talking about embedded commands. Then there is the command. That means you're going to command them to do something. And then there's the most important part, which is the voice tone. So nothing's going to change in your voice tone. Nothing's going to change in your voice rate. Nothing's going to change in your reality. Now, remember, I'm going to work with some of you, and I'm going to give this to you in a minute. Some of you are already texting the word servant leader. When you text the word servant leader, it's very, very important that you put your first name and your last name so we can text you the information. But text the word servant leader right now to 202-270-1662. Again, 202-270-1662. Include your first name, include your last name. You get the revenue blueprint, you get the notes, and you also get the one-on-one revenue session with myself. Yours truly. Voila. I can't see you. Voila. That's me. That's me, Shay Brown. I can't wait to do that. So let me go ahead and get into some good stuff. Okay, we say we have the starting phrase examples. Let me give some of the starting phrase examples. I gave you one earlier, but I'm going to come back and teach it to you now. The first one is when you. That's a starting phrase. You don't have to. That's a starting phrase. Can you imagine? That's a starting phrase. Now look, I will change your life right now if you'll let me. This could be the most important masterclass that you sit on. The number one cause of business failure is low sales. You're either building your selling skills, that's what I'm teaching you now, or you're building your sales process. That's what I do. And right now, we're going to help you build your skills because for some of you, you're the number one salesperson in your company. And we're going to keep you number one, but we're going to keep you in the high level. So let's talk about some command types. So first, we're going over the 3 phrases. I'm going to bring them together. This is the embedded commands that we've been talking about the last probably 10 minutes. Now I'm going to start with the starting phrases. Then I'm going to give you the commands. And then I'm going to give you the voice tonalities. So starting phrases, once again, hang in there with me. Don't go nowhere. Hang in there with me. You got this. You got this. When you, starting phrase. You don't have to, starting phrase. Can you imagine? I could have given you so many more, but I don't have time. Wish I did. So let's give you some command phrases right now. This is a command, a direct command, where you're going to ask them to do something now. You're going to ask them to take action now. It doesn't mean they do it, but we're talking to their subconscious mind. This is what this is all about. We're bringing it together for you right now. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. It's so exciting. All right. Here's some command examples. Get started today. Invest in this product. Buy. Those are commands. Get started today. That's a command. Write it down. Take a screenshot if you want. Invest in this product. You can do that as well. Or buy. Now, for those folks that are out there, you can hit the share button and pay this forward to another entrepreneur. Help someone else that's out there right now that's looking to grow their business during these very challenging times. I'm going to give you some more phrases. Now, I'm putting in the front of it so you're aware of it, kind of the starting phrases. Before you consider buying, that's a what? Direct command. You got it. Got it. Let's talk about that's a starting phrase. Benefits. That's a command. So you can make again, that's a what? Starting phrase. Right decision. That way you can, starting phrase, buy with confidence. Now, you don't have to say it just like this. I'm giving you the subject, verb, and noun so that you understand how you can put it in your own words based on your own signature selling style. Your signature selling style is how you sell based on your own DNA, based on your own experience, and based on your own expertise. And then there's a certain way that the buyer's profile exists. But this language that I'm sharing with you right now, this language pattern is going to help you because some of you just have never been in this conversation. And it's not your fault. You've never been in a conversation with a master practitioner that focuses on neuro-linguistic sales. I'm so happy that you're here. Yes. This is where the magic happens. This is where it all goes down. I mean, this is like so much fun. I don't wish that we'd be in the world that we're in right now, but I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad you're tuned in, and I'm glad we have this technology that you and we can have this conversation. We can build our skills. We can sharpen our tools so we can serve more people and make a bigger difference. Isn't that what we all want at the end of the day? To have more meaning in the world? Yeah. Okay, give me the signal. I got to keep going. Okay. So what's the embedded command? When you go back here, what's the embedded command that you see? The embedded command, the answer was buy. Buy was one of the largest embedded commands that we had in that particular last exercise. Now I'm going to give you another one. Now follow me. I said, okay, here's a sentence. What's the embedded command? It could have been more than one, but what's the one that really stuck out? Well, I used the word buy because just here we said buy was a what? A command. We mentioned what the starting phrases were. That's how you use the language to lead in. And some of the most powerful starting phrases are 1 to 2 or 3 words long. Will you marry me? It's not that long. Will you marry me? It's not that long. Just like some of these. Okay, let's try it again. Let's try it again. I'm going to give you the phrase and then you look for the embedded command. Now pay attention. This is where the breakthrough takes place because this is how you're going to be writing your emails. This is how you're going to be doing your videos. This is how you're going to be focusing on your social media post. I was working with someone recently and we were doing a campaign, and part of their sales funnel is they've got to send off emails, they've got to send off text messages, and then they've got to follow up with webinar and then have some follow-up sequences. And when I looked at the copy, I said, we're missing embedded commands. Huh? She said, your copywriters did a great job. But the reason you bring a sales writer in the house, you see, your copywriters, that's a topic for another time. Some of y'all can go to hire a sales writer right now. You can understand the difference. But a copywriter is a person, their whole mission in life as a copywriter, their whole mission really is to help write copy to attract people to you. A sales writer, we have a different mission. And as a sales writer, our mission at the end of the day, our mission is to get them to take some type of action, whether they opt in, whether they follow up, or whatever it may be. So I'm always looking for what's the difference between a sales writer and a what? Copywriter. Now, some of you watching right now, you're like, Shay, I didn't even know there was a difference. Well, I'm glad that you're here because there is a difference. And if you're out there and you're tired of watching your product launches and they're not taking off and they need a boost, or you're out there right now and you're like, you know what, Shay? My marketing has really struggled. My campaigns aren't moving. people to action, Shay. I'm listening to you. I'm learning about embedded commands. I'm learning about neuro-linguistic sales. But right now, there's a challenge. There's a struggle. It's happening right now. Are you one of those entrepreneurs or professionals who know how to do something but struggles with how to tell the world about it? And you said, Shay. See, this is what a sales writer does. This is what a sales writer does. I want you to understand this, and then I'm going to get back to it. If that's you, it might be time to at least have a conversation with a certified sales writer. Shay, what in the LL Cool J is a certified sales writer? Here's a little dirty marketing secret that you might not know. All copy is not the same. All copywriters are not created equal. And if you want to know where I'm at right now, and you want to know one of the biggest mistakes that business owners make is not taking their marketing copy serious enough. You can't get anyone to do anything without writing copy. And that's the difference with a certified sales writer. A certified sales writer is focused on one thing and one thing only. A certified sales writer writes copy that sells. Someone write that down in your notes if you're hearing it for the first time. A certified sales writer writes copy that sells. Someone write that down. A certified sales writer writes copy that sells. And so if you're out there right now and you're like 84% of businesses where you make the mistake of telling the market about their business when they should be selling the market on their business, and you just want a little help with that because you're tuned in right now, you can do one or two things. You can go over to hireasaleswriter.com, hire, HIRE, A as in A, saleswriter.com. You can go to hireasaleswriter.com. And you can write down a few things. And don't worry, I haven't forgot where we are in our presentation, but I wanted to share a few good reasons you want to hire a certified sales writer. Number one, they write with the purpose to move readers toward a specific action. Number two, they write to the subconscious mind to prepare prospects to make a purchase. We talk about embedded commands, and I'm right in the middle of an embedded command exercise right now that I'm going to teach you. And I already did lesson number one. I'm getting ready to lesson number two, but I wanted to pause and let you know that a certified sales writer, they write to tell a compelling story and to sell products and services behind that story. So it's not just about the story. It's about people taking action to solve their problems and to do it now. See, all copy is not the same. All copywriters are not created equal. There's unequal amongst equals. So you have two choices when it comes to creating revenue, generating sales copy. You can take years to learn to do it yourself, or you can just hire someone that does. Here's what I'm going to suggest. Two things. Number one, let's get back to it. Number one, I didn't mean to get on this tangent. I'm on a tangent. Number one is just go to hireasaleswriter.com. Hireasaleswriter.com. You can go read all the stuff for yourself. Hireasaleswriter.com. And you can at least go get the details, see what the difference is. And that's for some of you, that's exactly what you need. Some of you want to continue to learn how to do this yourself, which I'm walking you through, and how to improve. And we're teaching neuro-linguistic sales. I'm teaching exactly what copywriters do. And then there's a handful of you out there like, Shay, I just want to sit down with someone. I just want to meet with someone. I just want to talk to someone, Shay. I want someone to customize it for me now. I ain't got time to go through all that stuff. Text the word servant leader right now to 202-270-1662 to get the revenue blueprint. Get the notes that we're going over right now and have a one-on-one revenue momentum session with myself. My promise to you, for those who take action now, because I believe the universe rewards people who take action differently than those that don't. So you take action right now. You open up your cell phone right now. You go to Messenger. Oopsie, that's not what you want. You go to Messenger and you type 202-270-1662. And then you go to the message section and you write down servant leader. No catch, no cost, no charge. Make sure you put your first name because that's important. Make sure you put your last name. That's even more important. And your best contact number so I know where to contact you. That's going to be very, very important. And then let's just have a one-on-one conversation. And let's customize it specifically for you. See, this is your time. This is your year. You're ready for a breakthrough. You couldn't wait for this moment. And this moment is now. It is 9 o'clock time. It's your time to move forward. Today is your January 1st. No, today is your January 1st. No, today you're going to get that copy right. It's your January 1st. All right, let's go back over to embedded commands. Let's go back over to the exercise we were just doing a second ago. Well, I'm telling you to find the embedded command. I didn't forget. I got on a tangent. Oh my gosh. But that happens. So here's the sentence. Imagine how good you will feel when you get started learning powerful language patterns to move your prospect to action. Now you look at that sentence. You look at that sentence right now. And there's a starting phrase for those who were here. And then there's the direct command. What's the embedded command? I'll give it to you one more time. Imagine how good you will feel when you get started learning powerful language patterns to move your prospect to action. What's the just command? Let's give them the answer. Seriously. No, let's just give them the answer. There's no need. No, let's just go ahead and give them the answer. I mean, okay, that's fine, but let's give them the answer. Here's the embedded command. Get started. No, seriously. I want you to understand this exercise. I gave you a sentence. You might be talking to a client and saying, well, imagine how good you're going to feel when you take advantage of our speaking program and you learn how to monetize from the stage. Now, I didn't say sell like me, sell like a woman, sell like a robot. I said sell like yourself, like be yourself. Being you is beautiful. That's why you need to know your signature selling style. You speak words in your own language based on your own DNA. You're not going to use sales scripts. Scripts are for actors. You're not an actor. You're a human being. So you have the technique. We're going to just put it to your style. What's the embedded command? Get started. Very simple. Okay, let's try one more. Let's try one more. I'm gonna walk you through this because this is very simple, but yet it's a breakthrough. By now, here's the sentence. We're having a conversation. By now, you may have realized how important it is to get started today. Like some of you are already texting me right now because you know how important it is right now to go ahead and send a text because you need to customize this specifically for yourself. And you understand that. No worries. I get it. You get it. We're in this together. Now, I'm going to ask you, what's the embedded command? Take a second. No, seriously. I want you to show it to me. I want you to think about this. Take a second. What's the embedded command? By now, you may have realized how important it is to get started. What's the embedded command? The embedded command is get started. I just used it earlier. I mean, okay. That's not fair. That's really not fair, is it? Extra credit. Now, I said get started, but there's two commands in here. There's two commands. Let's go back. By now, follow me. You may have realized how important it is to get started. Get started is the just command, right? But now there's a bonus. The extra credit bonus is by now. That's another direct command that was in there. Now, again, for some of you, this is like super advanced, and I get it. And I understand that. But I'm not going to leave you here because I want to give you one or two words for embedded commands that you can use inside of your sales pages, inside of your text messages, inside of your marketing pages, inside of your landing pages, when you're doing your webinar. Some of you, when you are doing videos and so forth, you need to do this. So pay very close attention. And I want you to use one of these techniques right now. I'm going to give you 5 bonus embedded commands. Now, this is over and beyond what I even anticipated, but I know this is going to help you. So you pay close attention, and maybe you've never been in a conversation like this, and that's okay because there's only one Shay Brown. I'm not the only person to teach it, but there's only one me. All right, let's go ahead and roll the, I would say video, but it's not a video. Let's go ahead and show the slides. There you go. Suppose you use this process and love it. Like we get together, we have a meeting, and you love it. Here's another one. Only if you want to change your life should you. Should say you, should you. Now, I want you to be listening for the embedded command. Suppose you, embedded command. Only if you, embedded command. See, it becomes more powerful, becomes more persuasive. It has more influence, and you speak from the heart, and you can still be yourself. My former president of Toastmasters International, his name was Benny Bow. And Benny Bow was an Alexandria Treetop Toastmasters. I was president of the club for about 2 or 3 years. Had a great time, and it was wonderful. I understand Toastmasters is not for everybody, but it was for me at that time. And one of the things that Benny Bow used to always say, after you gave your presentation, and he was president of Toastmasters International. That's an organization with over 250,000 members. And we were blessed to have him at our club. Older gentleman, I think he was in his 80s then. And one of the things he used to always say is this: speak from the heart and be yourself. So after you give a presentation, they'd always turn around and ask people to give feedback. And whenever Benny Bow was there, they always deferred to him first. And he would say the same thing to everybody, but every time he said it and I was up there, I felt like it was just for me. That was good, he would say. Very good. I'm only going to encourage you to do one thing. Always speak from the heart and be yourself. The audience will know. And I took that one idea and I thought to myself, only if I could speak from the heart, only if I could be myself. Now I look back years later, over 20 plus years later, and I'm seeing those same commands that he was there. And if he was speaking today, he would say, suppose you spoke from the heart every time you had a conversation and you were yourself. Only if, Shay, you speak from the heart can you change lives? Can you make a difference? See, he's not here today, but what he was using, his techniques, his commands, they were there. They were there. See, some people find that you can trust me only after years of customer service, but many find they can do it sooner. I put in blue so you could see the command right there. Trust me. Do it sooner. This is advanced. I get it. This is not sexy. I get it. But I'm telling you, follow me. Follow me. Let's crack this code so you're not codependent always on someone else. This is something you can do yourself. Neuro-Linguistic Sales is the unfair advantage. Your words can make you rich. You can study language patterns and you can get there. So why should you choose me? Another embedded command. Why should you choose me? Choose me is the embedded command. Choose me. Why should you watch the Happy Entrepreneur Show? Watch Happy Entrepreneur Show is the embedded command. In this case, choose me, choose my company, choose my team. Why should you choose me to be a speaker at your next event? Let me share with you why. Before we allow people to sign the contract, we want to make sure they fully understand it. Again, I'm spending a lot of time on embedded commands, probably way more than I anticipated right now. But for some of you, for where you are right now, embedded commands is the big step. It really is. It really is. I wish I had time to do a review, and maybe I will. And then we'll talk about establishing mental value. But what I'll do is I'll slow down for just a second. And this is principle number 2. I can't go all the way back to principle number 1. I don't have the time, and we could never get there. But what I did is I started off by teaching you 3 embedded commands. And I talked about they consist of 3 main parts. I'm going to just do a review so you can follow me. Now, as I'm doing this review, some of you out there, you want me to do this for your company. You want me to do it for you. You want me to do it for one of your products. You want me to do it for a marketing campaign. You want me to do it for a launch. You want to make sure that you can do that. And I get that. And if that's you right now, you can go ahead and text the word servant leader. Servant leader. Servant leader. Go ahead and text that word right now. Go ahead and do it right now. Like go ahead and open up your phone and text the word servant leader to 202-270-1662. Include your first name, your last name, and let's have a conversation. I'm gonna go over these embedded commands, but they can't see me. I want to make sure that we're doing it for you as well. That's the only thing I want to show you. So let me show it to you one more time. Text the word servant leader. If you want to serve and sell, you serve first and then you sell. That's a servant leader. You serve first, then you sell. Text 202-270-1662. And then include your first name and your last name and your best mobile number. You'll get the revenue blueprint. You'll get the notes. And then you'll get a one-on-one revenue momentum session for those that want that. So we can customize this specifically for you for where you are. Do it when? Now. When's the best time to improve your selling skills and your selling processes so you can have more resources? That's revenue to do the things you want to do now. Text 202-270-1662. Text the word servant leader. Include your first name and your last name, your best contact number. You get the revenue blueprint, the notes, and a one-on-one session, which I'm looking forward to with you. Okay, let's do this in about a minute or two. Let's just walk them through it again. Starting phrase, there's the command, and then there's the voice tone. Starting phrase examples that I shared. When you, starting phrase. You don't have to, starting phrase. Can you imagine, starting phrase. There's some command examples. Get started today. Invest in this product. I'm giving you closing ones right now. Buy. Buy. Now, follow me. I'm just doing a quick review. I got to move on. 3 embedded commands, starting phrase, the command, voice tone, starting phrase, when you don't have to, can you imagine? Then I said there's some commands, get started today, invest in this product or buy. Then I gave you a sentence. Before you consider buying, let's talk about the benefits so you can make the right decision. Some of y'all should understand these commands. That way you can buy. I'm sharing it with you. I love this. This is great. This is the biggest breakthrough for all my folks out there with confidence. Now, what's the embedded command? The answer is buy. So I gave you a sentence. I'm going to give you 2 more. I gave you a sentence as if we were having a conversation, and I said, pick out the embedded command. This is very important. Some of you, this is all this missing in your copywriting, all this missing in your marketing campaigns, all this missing in your text message campaigns. You have these sophisticated funnels that are not converting, and it's not doing what you want to do, and you're still finding yourself dragged into conversations. Embedded commands, it's just one of the techniques we're teaching with Neuro-Linguistic Sales. I think I've taught 50 different techniques, but I slowed down here because some of you can do this right away, but you've got to be able to at least identify the embedded command. So let's try it again. Let's try it again. Imagine how good you will feel when you get started learning powerful language patterns, Neuro-Linguistic Sales, unfair advantage to move your prospect to action. What's the embedded command? Okay, well, let's just see. What's the embedded command? Dun-dun-dun-dun. Did you get it right? Did you write it down? I hope you wrote it down. All right, let's just go. Let's have fun. Answer, get started. So imagine how good you will feel when you get started. That's where you put the voice rate. Learning powerful language patterns to move your prospect to action. Okay, let's try it again. Here's another one. Buy now. Should be B-U-I. Buy now. You may have realized how important it is to get started today. Now, it's no fair because I'm kind of telling you guys as I'm going. But what's the embedded command? The answer is get started today. Get started. It was the same one. Okay. Extra credit, buy now. Should be B-Y. Buy now. That is a direct command. All right, and then I gave you 5 bonus embedded commands. I'm just doing a quick recap. Suppose you use this process and love it. That is, follow me. Only if. So suppose you use this process and love it. Only if you want to change your life should you. Think about that. Some people find that they can trust me, embedded command, only after years of customer service by how they can do it sooner. Why should you choose me? So as I'm going through these, I'm sharing with you the embedded commands. So you see that there's the front, you see there's the action that they have to take right there. Now, we just spent 20 minutes going through that. But now I want to give you principle number 3, because I spent a lot more time on something than I wanted to, but I know this will help some of you. I know this is where you are. And now we're going to just establish mental value. And if we can do that for some of you, that's really all you need. You do that, it's a deal maker. It's chicken. What do they call it? Winner chicken dinner. Is that what they say? Yeah. All right. So let's go here. Now I'm not going to get into signature selling style on here, but I do want to reemphasize that everyone has their preferred language pattern. You have yours, I have mine, but we do fall in categories. That's why we teach buyer profiling. So you understand the 10 different buyer profiles, and you also understand that there's 7 different signature selling styles. Okay, so a couple things I want you to do. First, just listen to your prospects. Listen to your prospect. Listen to the words that are coming out of their mouth. No, seriously, you really have to do that. You have to listen very carefully. And visual prospects, the ones that you speak to that are using visuals, they're going to use words like see, look, picture this. You want to be listening for those words in your conversation. Sometimes people think you're just listening to be listening. I'm listening intently. I heard every word they said. I don't care about if you heard every word they said anymore. That's not this conversation. It really isn't. It's, are you listening for visual, auditory, or emotion? Then your sensors and your intuition will pick up on everything else. I'm giving you the world from a sales view of the world. That's the lens we're looking through right now. And that lens is different. That lens is much different. So now that you have this distinction, and the distinction is an understanding beyond common knowledge, we're going to use visuals, prospects for the words. So see, look, picture this. Or we're going to use auditory words. And the auditory words such as you're going to listen, hear, sounds like you're saying something, Shay. I can hear what you're saying right now. I'm listening to you, Shay, so I can hear every word. Some folks are saying that because they really are auditory learners. Now, does that mean that's all they are? No. But some of people, that's what they are. And that's okay. And I want you to learn this. I want you to understand this. I want this to be inside your DNA. And then there are the emotional folks, the kinesthetic prospects. And the kinesthetic prospects, they focus on how they feel about something. So as you're speaking to them, you got to listen and look for the words your prospects are using. I want you to ask yourself right now on a scale of 1 to 10, not are you listening, not are you paying attention, not are you taking notes, but I want you to ask yourself the question, am I listening for these 3 key areas? When I'm writing, am I writing for these 3 key areas? Sometimes when I write, I'm only writing in one area only, audio. I want them to hear what I'm saying. And I understand that I'm leaving out a certain portion of folks, but I'm also trying to be very, very specific. And then sometimes I use all 3. Sometimes I'm writing so I get the visual prospects. So I'm making sure they can see what I'm saying. They're listening, they're looking. I'm making sure I'm using the words even during this presentation. Listen to what I have to say. Watch what you see very carefully. Sometimes it's focus on the auditor part. And then other times, and I am the heart-centered selling style. That's my selling style. If you don't know your signature selling style, and there's 7 different signature selling styles, that's a topic for another time. But I will get into 1 or 2 in the time that we have, and then I'll finish this up, and we're almost done. But some of you that are watching right now, you sell based on you're the intuitive signature selling style. In the intuitive signature selling style, you sell based on intuition. And so you go with your gut feeling to move people to action. You don't even prepare before a presentation. That's not even what you do. You just kind of show up, and it works for you. And you have your own language patterns, your own closing signature style, your own buyer profiles that are attracted to that. Others of you are the rock star signature selling style. The rock star signature selling style would be like a Eric Thomas or a Tony Robbins, I will say. There's someone, and maybe you know someone like this, they sell based on their charisma. It's like, look at me. Look what I have done. Look what I have built. Follow my pattern. I am the way. And in doing so, you follow them because you say, if they've done it, I can do it as well. And the rock star is not a good thing or not a bad thing. It just is what it is. And for some of you, that's your signature selling style. But there's a certain way that you want to communicate when you're writing. There's a certain way you want to communicate when you're doing it on a webinar. And so you want to understand those language patterns and how you should close. And then for some of you listening right now, you are like myself. You're the heart-centered selling style. There's 7. I can't get into all of them. In the heart-centered selling style, and that's you. Say, that's me. That's you. Say, that's me. You sell based on emotions. You've got to feel them. You've got to know they're in it with you. You've got to believe that they believe. You're not going to convince them, but you're selling heart to heart. And there's another group of you out there. You have the professor signature selling style. For some of you had a chance to do training with Trevor Otts. He is the professor signature selling style, although he'll say he's the rock star. But he's the professor's signature selling style. He has to teach you something first. And then once he's taught it to you, he feels like, okay, at this point, I can ask you to do something. And it's okay. None of these styles are good. None of these styles are bad. They're good or bad. But I want you to know, if nothing else, your signature selling style. So when you are communicating to your team, you can do it in a much, much easier, much more efficient way. If you're out there listening right now, you're like, Shay, this sounds good, Shay. This is just me. I need to know my signature selling style. I need to know my buyers, profiling the people that I'm connecting with so I can make sure that we have the same frequency when we're speaking. If that's you, go ahead right now and text the word servant leader. Do that right now if you haven't done it before. Text the word servant leader to 202-270-1662. Again, 202-270-1662. Text the word servant leader. You'll get the revenue blueprint, the notes, and a one-on-one session. So you and I, we can just have a conversation. At least let me give you your signature selling style. Include your first name. That's important. Include your last name. That's important. Include your best contact number. That's important. Make sure you do that so we can connect. Looking forward to it. If you need that number again, it's 202-270-1662. Type the word servant leader, 202. And then make sure you put your first name, your last name, your email. I promise you it'll be a good use of your time. I promise you you'll walk away with your signature selling style. And I promise you'll learn a embedded command specifically for your industry so you can give your copywriters a little bit of guidance and not just rely on them, by the way. All right, so we talked about you got to listen. Let me get back to our regularly scheduled program. You got to listen. You got to look out for words your prospect are using. You got to match your sales language to your prospect's buy-in frequency. Oh, I got a typo there. Buy-in frequency. Remember I said that people have a frequency. Some of you, you're focusing on they're in a situation where there's a pain point. And you understand that you're there to solve a problem. One of my favorite phrases, I've said at least 100,000 times probably, and I'll say another 1,000,000 times before I leave this earth, is that people will pay you today. I believe this in my heart, if you help them solve a problem today. So we're in the problem solving business. And so some of you listen for the pain points. I get that. Others of you are geared to what they don't want. So it's kind of like, what do they want to stay away from? What is it they're trying to avoid? And then others of you, by owning your product, you won't have to worry about making more sales. Some of you, we are the sales team for your company. And as a result, you don't have to worry about any selling for your team. You've got a team that does all the selling for you. And that feels good. Because if you don't want to sell, the best thing you can do, I always say, is hire someone who does. Let me say it again. If you don't want to sell, the best thing you can do is hire someone who does. And I believe that we are the sales team that you've been looking for. I believe that in my heart. In fact, let's go ahead and share that message with them. And then we'll be right back. And we're coming down the home stretch of Neuro-Linguistic Sales, the unfair advantage. We'll be back in just a moment. Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. And if you're like a number of my clients right now, where you are sick, and tired of talking to unqualified people who don't want to do business with you, or you're tired of tracking down people and trying to convince them and persuade them to do business with you, and you're just wasting your time, or you're just totally frustrated, and it's time for you to increase your sales, then we are the sales team that you've been looking for. You see, the number one challenge facing entrepreneurs today is either lost leads. That means they met someone opted on their page, someone signed up on their webinar, someone said they were interested, and no one could follow up with them, no one could track them down, and you had to do it all yourself. Or you spend a lot of time talking to someone, you spend a lot of time sending them information, only to find out they were unqualified. You're like, I'm sick of talking to unqualified people. So if you don't want to sell, or you hate to sell because you want to do something else with your time, something else with your labor, like spend it with those that you love the most, or doing something entirely different, then I want you to pay close attention. I want you to text this number, because we're going to partner with you in two ways. First, we're going to look at doing a complete sales makeover for you. Okay, that's number one. And then number two, we're going to set all the qualified appointments you need without your labor, so you can make sure things get done. And or we're going to have a dedicated sales team to go out and actually make the sale, get the credit card, get the contract, and bring it out. We are the sales team that you've been looking for. So it's just time for you to do a sales makeover. It's time for you to look at your whole sales process and have a structure, a system, a sequence, so you can be scalable and you can really generate those sales. Here's what I want you to do for your sales makeover. Text the word makeover. Do it right now. Open up your phone right now. Text the word makeover, one word, makeover, to 202-999-3515. Let me get that to you again. Text the word makeover so you can look at your business to 202-999-3515, and just follow the instructions. So all you gotta do is follow the instructions, and let's make over your business. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone, and we're gonna make some good things happen. We connect again next time. God bless, and I'll see you on the other side. All right, welcome back to the Happy Entrepreneur Show. This MasterClass, Neuro-Linguistic Sales, the unfair advantage. And that's what this class is all about right there, giving you the unfair advantage that you need. We're talking about really embedded commands. We're talking about how to use the language that you need right now. There is something called pleasure selling. And pleasure selling is when you're focusing on what they want, what it is they really want. Sometimes I'm working with clients and they want to have more time for themselves. Sometimes I'm working with clients and it's not about the revenue. It's not about the money, but it's about how they have the tools and resources that allows them not to work as hard in their business. Even being a sales team, they don't want to work as hard in their business. And sometimes that's important. So I want you to really focus on what they want, and more importantly, explain the benefits. We said this earlier and I'll say it again, that people buy benefits. People buy benefits. And it's been said in sales trainings that people buy you. And I'm not sure it's the case anymore. They got to like you. They got to trust you. You got to have a pleasing personality. But at the end of the day, they buy the benefits you say you're going to deliver. And there's tangible benefits. That's what they can touch. There's intangible benefits, things they can't touch. There's sense of urgency benefits. Why should they do it now? There's the consequences of not taking action benefits. If I don't do it, Shay, so what? And then there's also the benefit of the benefit. Like, what's the benefit of improving your selling skills? Is you make more sales. What's the benefit of making more sales? You make more money. What's the benefit of making more money? You can pay for the health care you want. You can send your kids to a school of their choice. You can have peace of mind. You can hire a team. So many folks want the benefit of the benefit, not just one benefit. Sometimes it's a combination. So here's what I want you to know. I want you to know as you're listening right now, this is this part one. I wanted to give it to you right now. I wanted to make sure that I give you something that can help you with Neuro-Linguistic Sales, which is the study of language patterns and how it impacts the process. For many of you out there who want me to review your copy, you're like, Shay, I'm ready to write my copy to help me move forward. And that's you right now. Go ahead right now and text the word servant leader to 202-270-1662. Make sure you put your first name, your last name, and your email and best mobile number, and we will send you the revenue blueprint, the notes, and a one-on-one revenue momentum session. I can't wait. And let's take this and customize it for where you are in your industry. This is the unfair advantage. This is the missing piece. This is the piece that solves the mystery puzzle for you. And I want you to know, as you're watching right now, that you're already amazing, that you're already incredible, that you already have so much greatness inside you, and that I know that for you as you're watching, the best is yet to come. I know the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. I believe the best is still yet to come. With that being said, for those folks that are just tuning in for the very first time, hit the share button, hit the watch party button. If you got one idea, put that one idea below. Just share the one idea you got, because I know that today is your January 1st. You're going to get this business model right. Today is your January 1st. You're going to generate more sales without your labor. Today is your January 1st. You're going to connect and attract your ideal client, have more meaning in the world, have more impact in the world, and make $1 and a difference at the same time. With that being said, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all you've done. My name, by the way, for those folks that are just tuning in, is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you from the bottom of my heart, we'll make some good things out. We connect again next time. God bless. And I wish every single one of you success. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Promise I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there. And they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win. Yeah.
Thank you. God bless.